So today I wanted to do this video. It is Goth Clubs in the 1990s versus 2000. And I've been wanting to do this for like the longest time and I just haven't done it. I was trying to just like remember things and maybe like collect some thoughts and memories and I don't even know what, and it just didn't happen. I have a really poor memory, so this is gonna be in like kind of like bits and pieces and like a ramble, and it might just like kind of go on and on and on, like sounding like nonsense, but I'm going to do the best that I can. So first off, I want to talk about goth clubs in the 90s. So in the 90s, I was like a teenager, and we would try to get into the goth clubs that were 19 plus, and at the time we were like 16, 17 years old. So what we would do is I would use my coworker's ID and my friend would use my sister's ID. And I don't know why, like I should have used my sister's because I look more like my sister than my friend did, but I think it had something to do with the hair color at the time. I don't know, whatever. So we were like, okay, we'll just use these to get into the club. And we like really decked ourselves out. Like it was like over the top now that I think of it. We had like our capes on and we had like tons of makeup on. And I think we had like pentagrams, like we drew on our foreheads and stuff like that. And sometimes that can look good, but when we did it, it looked bad. We were just like young and we didn't know what we were doing, so we just wanted to get into the club and we were like, oh yeah, the more makeup the better. So we just like layered it on. So one thing we did besides borrowing IDs was we put stickers on our license, and it was like the old style license, not the ones that they have now with like the barcode, I don't think, on the back or anything like that. And like, aren't they like there's like a hologram on them now? Like these are just like plain IDs. And we just took like white stickers with different numbers to change the date of our birthday and like stuck them on like the date. And like, so it made it look like we were older. And again, it was only to make us look 19 years old. They looked so fake. I do not know how we got away with it. I think, again, like I said, I think they were just like, they're just going in there to have a good time and to dance. So what's the harm in it? They're not going to drink. Little didn't they know that we were drinking, but they were just like, whatever. So yeah, we got away with doing like the stickers on the IDs to get into the club, which I think is pretty funny. So anyways, it worked. We got into the clubs with them. And I think it was like they knew we didn't match the picture on the ID, but they just were like, as long as they're not drinking, they just want to come in and dance and have a good time, because it was 19 plus. So if you were of drinking age, I think it was like you would get like a bracelet or something, or maybe if you were underage, you would get like an X on your hand to say you couldn't get a drink, whatever it was. We weren't, you know, going there to drink. We were going there to like listen to the music and have a good time. So I say, but that didn't happen. We ended up like, I think like friends would buy us drinks when we were there who were older than us, and we would already like pre-game, which is you drink beforehand before you get to the club. So when I was there, I was pretty intoxicated. And this is what I'm trying to remember. I was trying to remember the music that they played in the clubs in the 1990s. I cannot remember for the life of me. Like obviously it was some sort of goth music, like Susie and the Banshees and Sisters of Mercy, or you know, like something along those lines. But honestly, I cannot tell you a single song that I remember. I just don't remember. So I had messaged like the DJ that used to DJ at the club at the time. It was called the Man Ray, and it was in Boston, Massachusetts. It was like the goth club to go to. It was like, I remember like more details of what the club was like the looks of it and stuff and how people dressed, than I do like the music or anything. It was just like incredible. I loved that place so much, and I say I loved it because it's been torn down since. I think they turned into condos or something, or apartments or something like that. But so the DJ at the time, I'm Facebook friends with him, and I asked him for a set list and of like what he had played at that time, and I didn't hear back from him, so I messaged this other guy who was like a promoter for the goth nights, and he said that like they never kept a set list, so they wouldn't have it or anything like that. So that sucks, but you know what, I tried. But anyways, I'll talk more about like just the atmosphere in the club. So I remember people dressing, like the women were dressed like really like Victorian style with like the corsets and like the long skirts and things like that. And the guys had like more of that vampire look with like the white like billowy, blowsy type shirts and, you know, black pants. So it was more like that like old school looking goth, you know, like I said, like that Victorian like vampire type style. And it was so awesome. I loved it. And I remember like inside the club, they had one room that it was just kind of like a sit down, like hang out, like a lounge around room. And it had like furniture like this. It was just like really cool, like antique Victorian looking furniture. And in the corner in that same room, they had, I think they sold merchandise like clothing and jewelry and different things. And they also had like a whipping post. So you could like go up and like, they would like, you know, whatever, how they do it, that you'd be standing up and they would tie you down. They have this woman that would whip you. So that was something else that you could do. I never did that. I was too much of a wimp. And then going along with like the dressing, like how people dressed in the clubs, they had a strict dress code. And you couldn't have any white on your sneakers. And I remember that because a friend of ours, he was dressed in all black and he had black sneakers on that had like a little bit of white. I think it was like at the bottom of the sole of his sneakers, there was like a white line across it, and they would not let him in. So he ended up going to the car, and like luckily there was like electric tape in the car, which is like black. So he put like black tape all around his sneakers, and they're like, okay, now you can come in. I just thought it was kind of funny. And then I think it was you could not wear white unless it was like an obvious like gothic style, like the white blousey shirts. But you couldn't just show up with like a white t-shirt on because they wouldn't let you in. But I think like as far as like women, it was more lenient. They could wear white in their attire, but not the guys. They were more strict with the guys' dress code from what I remember. And then they had, so off of that like sitting area, they had the dance floor, this one dance floor where they played the more like upbeat music, and we mostly stayed in that type of a room because I enjoyed dancing to that like faster paced music. And you know, like how people danced, it was just kind of like this kind of dance. And like then there was like the people that kind of like, I think they did like maybe like rave type stuff. Like I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to rave dance, but I'm pretty sure there was people doing that stuff when there was like the faster type songs on. And then there was a totally separate room. It was another dance room. And this room was really cool, but like not a lot of people hung out in there. They had like a chain spider web, like a gigantic chain spider web that went from the ceiling to the floor, and you could like hang off of it and like, you know, dance on it and stuff like that. But that played more of like trance music. So it was really slow and just like, do you know what I'm saying? So like maybe if you were like stoned and kind of like whatever you wanted to be in there, but I was like drinking, so I was more like upbeat. I didn't want to really like get my booty shaken, so I didn't want to be in the trance area. When I say booty shaken, I'm joking. Like I kind of just did like the whatever type dance, like that was the thing. So yeah, this club, the Man Ray, I just remember going there like in the the mid to late 90s with my friends, and we had such a good time. We used to go like, I think they had it like, was it every weekend? I cannot remember, but I think we would go either like every other weekend or once a month or something like that. And as far as the music, I'm sorry, I honestly just cannot remember what they played. Like I can't like think of like a band that was played at that time. I just have a really poor memory, and then after I got sick with the Lyme disease, I have trouble remembering things even more. So it's like bits and pieces of stuff. So that's why I said I've been wanting to do this video, and because of not being able to remember so many things, I just was like debating on whether or not I should do it. And I was like, you know what, I should just do it, talk about it, reminisce about the past, and tell you guys my experience going to the Goth Clubs. So yeah, we used to go like all the time. Like that was like our weekend was going there. And then the Man Ray had closed down, like I said, and then things switched to, eventually, I don't remember how long afterwards, another club that they would rent it out for like a night, and it was, I believe it was the first Friday of every month or the first Saturday. I don't remember. I want to say it was the first Friday of every month. They used to rent out this club. I think it was called TT the Bears. And they would have a night and it was called Ex Mortis. And my friend would put on this night along with a couple other people. He was like the promoter. And I'll say it was, we had fun still, but it was different. Like things had changed and it was obviously the Gothic subculture just like changing like style and I guess maybe like music and stuff like changed a bit because I remember this more so. It was like I would dress like in a corset and like a long skirt, or sometimes I wear like a short skirt. And I'll show you guys some of the clothes that I actually wore that I still have from then. So this was like early 2000s. So this is a vinyl dress and this thing is like falling apart. Like I kept it, but I don't think it's not wearable anymore. And it had like this tulle like mesh on the bottom. It was a short kind of a dress. I loved this thing. This was like my favorite. But like as you can see, like here, like all the vinyl is coming away from it and you can see the material underneath, and I mean it stinks. It deteriorated, but like even like here and stuff, like it's coming apart and it sucks. But I held on to that. So I used to wear this dress like all the time, and I had a red one just like it that I had to throw away because that was a complete disaster. Like it was like completely falling apart. And then I had like a skirt like this I would wear sometimes with a corset. It was a long red, like a really red velvet skirt. And I can't wear this anymore because the waistband is like completely like stretching out and like has no, you know, like hold to it anymore. And I'm pretty sure I got this at Hot Topic, and I think the name brand of this is Asylum. Yeah, I mean, like most of the stuff I got at Hot Topic when Hot Topic used to sell like the real goth stuff back then. And I had like a couple other dresses that I got there from a company called like Begotten. And I had somebody like on YouTube, like they were like another YouTuber, like they were showing their clothing, their Begotten clothing. And I was like, oh, I got mine. I was like, I have some too. I got it at Hot Topic. And they were like, Hot Topic sold it, like question mark, exclamation point, like I was lying. I'm like, yeah, Hot Topic sold it. They had that stuff back in the day. Like, I'm not lying about it. I got it there. And then another vinyl shirt. I was like really into the vinyl because they sold a lot of it, but this one's falling apart too. It's like red. It was really cool because it had like the metal parts here, but like it's falling apart. There's like parts where like the material is missing. And this is Lip Service. Lip Service Los Angeles. So, yeah, so I got it off of the, it's a website, Lip Service. I haven't shopped there in a while. This is Morbid Threads. I believe I got this at Hot Topic too because I wore this to like the dance or something. I don't remember, but I also wore it to the Goth Clubs. And it's a red velvet, like kind of like corsety top, and it's black in the back, and it's got like a red down the center. This is like Seen Better Days. It's kind of like all like, I don't know, pulling up right here, and it doesn't look so hot. And the last thing I want to show you, I wore this like kind of later on, was this Motorhead skirt. And I know it's metal and not goth, but like it looked really cool. So I like gothed it out, and it's like the same on both sides, and it's really short. So I had to wear like nylons or leggings or something underneath. But yeah, so that's some of the stuff that I wore when I went out to the Goth Clubs. And then I'll insert some pictures if I can find them of different outfits from back in the day when we were going out. So other people, but the way people dressed was just like different. Like a lot of people were wearing just like lingerie. Like you could tell the women just went to the store and bought like a teddy or a negligee or something, and like that's what they wore. Like I don't care, like it still looked good, but it was totally different from what I remember when I went in the 90s. And you know, and then some people still dress, you know, sort of the same. Not really that Victorian look was going on anymore. Maybe like more of an industrial type look, and more people had those like dreads, what are they called? Like those cyber things, like the cyber goth look. Like more people were looking like that when we went. And some people would just dress up in a costume. Like one time we went there and somebody was wearing a stormtrooper costume from Star Wars. Like it wasn't like a Halloween party or anything, like that was just his outfit. So like I said, the fashion had changed by then and people were kind of just wearing whatever. And I want to say I saw more street clothing too, like just like a black t-shirt and black jeans. And like people weren't putting as much effort into dressing up. I don't know, maybe that's just like what people wanted to do and they just wanted to just go out to the club and have fun and not really care about how they dressed, which is fine. But I'm just saying as far as like my memory, like that, like things had just changed from the two different goth nights in the two different clubs. And some of the music I do remember. They played like, I remember like Rob Zombie, I remember KMFDM, Marilyn Manson. And then, so it was more like, I don't know, like I feel like it was more like a hard rock, like metal type sound. And sometimes they would play like something more like trancey. So they would play like songs like Sarah McLachlan, like that song Silence. I love that song, but by no means would I say is that song like goth. It's just like a really cool song. And then they were playing stuff off of the Cirque du Soleil soundtrack. Now, Cirque du Soleil is a circus that travels. It's a really awesome circus. It's not like your circus where you see like, you know, like the elephants and like lions and people just walking like the wire. It's like this totally like awesome like show where they like have like all different like looks and the acts are amazing and it's like artistic and they have like laughing and they have like their own music that they like come up with and perform. So they were playing songs off of like, you know, like a circus album. So that music I do remember and I have no problem dancing to it. Like I'm just saying it wasn't like, you know, real like the gothy type music. It was just like a wide variety of different things from what I remember. But I think they were still pretty strict on the dress code as far as wearing white. Because my friend went in, he had a pair of like pleather pants on or vinyl pants on, and he wore like a white button-down shirt, but like kind of like, you know, unbuttoned to here. And they were like, you can't wear that shirt because it wasn't like that, like, you know, like flowy, like pirate type of shirt. It was just like a white like dress button-down shirt, and they were like, you can't wear that. And so I'm like, well, what the hell? Like, he doesn't have another shirt, so we basically have to turn around and drive all the way back home, like 45 minutes. Like, this is crap. So me, being the genius that I am, I was like, well, what if he just doesn't wear a shirt? And they were like, yeah, that's fine. Like, he can't wear a white shirt, but he can wear no shirt, and that's cool. So they were like, make sure you just, like, drop that off at the coat check. So my friend had to wear, like, no shirt. He was a guy, just to, like, clear that up. It wasn't, like, a topless woman. So he wore like no shirt all night, whatever, we still had fun and he didn't really give a crap. What I did like about the goth clubs were, I don't know if you guys have been to like just a regular dance club, you know, where they play like pop music, but like people will come after you, not come after you, but like guys or, you know, will really like get on the girls and try to dance with them and harass them. That doesn't happen at the goth clubs. People kind of just like keep their own, you know, in their own little world, their own little space and dance and stuff like that. They won't just like creep up to you and try to feel you up and do anything like that. Like everybody was just like really respectful and everybody was really friendly. So if you were just like hanging out at the bar, like people would just, you know, come up and talk to you, like start a conversation or say like they liked the way that you looked or they liked your outfit. Like everybody was just super friendly. That's what I love about the gothic subculture is just like everybody is like so nice. Like very rarely do you run into like people who are like snobs or like rude or mean. It's mostly the like elitists, I guess you could say. But I never ever ran into any of that stuff growing up. Like going to the clubs when I was younger. I never, like from my teens to my early to mid 20s, that never happened to me. It hasn't started till like YouTube that I've noticed like people, like the elitist bullcrap. And I'm like, seriously? Like, there's no need for it. I'm not going to go off on a rant about that, but I'm just saying, like, I never experienced any of that growing up. Like, it was just, like, fun, and, like, everybody was so cool, like, going out. So those are, like, the fond memories that I have. So I know a lot of people, like, who are into the gothic subculture, like, they, you know, like, they just like the music, and, like, they, like, are, like, the fashion, or, you know, just like the history and stuff like that. But like, I do recommend going out to a goth club and having the experience because it's just like amazing. Just to like see other people like you and be able to like just dance and have a good time. You don't even have to drink. Like I don't drink anymore, and I would like just totally go to the goth club and like just have a good time dancing. It's hard for me now because I have a child. I can't really get out, and I was sick for a really long time because I wasn't going out or doing anything. But now that I feel better, you know, like I'm thinking about like February is my birthday. Maybe like I'll be able to like go out just to check it out to see what it's like again because I haven't been in so long. But if you're like younger and into like, you know, going out and doing things, then I would recommend it. Like if you have a goth club near you or a goth night that's put on, like go do it. It was so much fun. I do not regret like going like almost every weekend or every other weekend or whatever we did because it was a blast and I have such fond memories. So like I said, I will try to like insert some pictures along here somewhere of like times that we were at the club. I don't think I actually have any from inside the club. Oh, maybe like one, but most of it's just like beforehand when we were going out, like how we were dressed and stuff like that. So hopefully I can find some of those to show you guys. So I hope this video wasn't too much of just like an all over the place like rant. It was just like memories like flooding in. If I can remember stuff, I'm just telling you guys. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what the goth clubs were like in your area when it was like, you know, in the 90s or even the 80s, like till today. If you notice a difference, like I have, or if you remember like the music that they would play back then, because I would really like to know because I just completely forget. Like I have like no memory of that at all. I'm pretty sure it was just some kind of like goth band that like I mentioned before, but I don't, not so much like rock or metal, you know what I mean? So if you guys know of any like music that was played in the 90s, let me know. It'd be interesting to hear. So anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comment if you guys have any like funny memories yourselves of going to goth clubs or any kind of cute story that you want to tell me. And until next time, stay dark, my friends, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Bless you. My baby sneezing.